Hello again everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm out today doing another green lane. This is the last day of 2019, last day of the decade, forever. And I'm at Titsy Hill, which is one of my favourite places to come. I believe when I first got a motorbike that could do green lanes, this was the first place I came, because it was the closest one that I knew about. And I got here not knowing what was going to happen and how difficult it would be. So recently Titsy Hill has had a large amount of trees chopped down. Today the weather has been kind of like sort of like misty, everything's wet, everything's damp. There's like pools of water places, but it does look kind of mystic and interesting. The mud today is pretty thick, wet, horrible, disgusting. And yeah, not a lot I can do about that. Except maybe come another day like in the summertime. But it's the last day of the decade. Gotta finish it with a bit of a bang. I just hope I don't crash. But here we go. Titsy Hill Foundation Walk. So this is the top of the hill. I came from that direction. And there's a lot of really nice country twisty lanes down that way. And this is the sign you want to look for to tell you that you can actually go on this road as long as your vehicle, horse, bicycle, carriage is road legal. Then yeah, you can do it. And alright, let's get some perspective. So this is the flat bit. So imagine the car's flat, this is the top of the hill. So as I'm turning, you're going to see it gets steeper, steeper, steeper. And it goes literally, well, you can see the cars. It goes down deep. And that's where I'm going today. I'm going to try and make an effort today to record a little bit better than I have in the past. But there's no guarantees as to stop on the hill. Might be a bit difficult. I mean, it's muddy, it's disgusting. And there is a possibility, but I can't guarantee it. It depends. But I might try and come back up the hill when I'm done as well. If I get done, if I survive. But that's all in fate's hands. Does 2019 want to let me finish with pride or with a fall? We'll find out. And yeah. So this is the damage which I have on my bike. So these two little clips here snapped, which hold the windscreen. That's going to be replaced. Just need a whole blue headset type holder thing. And then next time I'm getting some kind of like gel, I think. And you put it around the outside and it sticks it on. Which it didn't come with that to begin with, so it just snapped and fell off. But I've got the part at home, but I'm going to fix it. I couldn't remember if that was in my previous video or not. But for now, let's get started. This is the thing, I'm not so sure how I'm going to set up the camera for this. Because it's on such a horrible hill, it's going to be difficult to get off the bike and then set the camera up, go back to the bike, and then ride or you know, do all these kind of things, but we'll see how it goes. Alright guys, let's start this. And actually guys, top tip, when you are going downhill, if you want to stop on a motorbike, leave it in first gear. Seems to do the trick. Now I'm going to continue on down the hill. Hopefully it's going to be alright. But yeah, leave it in first gear if you need to like hop off. Seems to work fine, which is a bit of a relief. The mud today is pretty bad, and that's the path I'm going down. There's a couple people walking up it, so I'm going to wait for them to finish. But as you can see, it gets steep, and just come around the corner. Just behind me is where the car park is. So that's literally the flat ground there, and then if you go across, you can see it's very steep. Very interesting landscape though. Well, I find it interesting, especially the trees and just how it sits. It's pretty cool. But yeah, you gotta remember one thing, guys, when you're out riding and then there's dogs. Sometimes dogs react negatively to motorbikes, so you don't want to upset the dog walkers. But yeah, just something to be cautious about. Anyway, let's move on to the next bit. Okay guys, you just see me ride down this part, but sadly there's a bit of a drop off here where there's just this angle. So like from here there's like a ridge and it goes very steep from here on out. Probably will be extremely difficult to stop to make videos and things, but there's one spot I would like to show you guys, which is basically one of the views why I come down here, one of the reasons why I come down here, and one of the reasons why I like to come here throughout the year, especially to get away from London. It's nice to come out here. But yeah, I'll show you guys a nice view in a minute. Just before we get to my nice view spot, that's the steep bit which I just said was steep, and you get to here and that is steep. I mean, that is ridiculously steep. It's just like this drop off. See, that's flat ground there. And you go across and it's just down. I don't know if that makes a good perspective there, but it just goes down. There's some more dog walkers, so I'm just going to wait them out. Hopefully they can get past me without knocking me off. We'll see. This is the view that I was talking about. Well, I like to come down and just stretch my eyes every now and then. Yeah, you can see way off there into the distance. And later on I'm going to go across this road down here and then come back. Probably go home like that. But yeah, it's a heck of a view. Never lets you down. But you can't ride the motorbike down this part. This is for walkers only. But if you want to see a lot of the trees that's falling down, this path, which is, I believe it's the short route, you can see on that route a lot of trees which are falling down. And for anyone who's interested in actually coming here, this is the just sort of south of London. Just sort of south of London. I'm gonna show you guys my how I've parked in a second, because it's a bit crazy how I've parked. So back on the slope. This is a steep bit I just come down. Alright, so this small bit here is flat, and then I'm going to be going down there. For now, I'll just park like that. Just park like that. It's quite steep, but this is the problem with this second half of the hill, is this rut, because it's very steep. I mean, very deep even. Yeah, it's very deep. It probably doesn't look on camera, but it's probably like about a foot, and at some places 2 foot, 3 foot, foot and a half, whatever. But yeah, it crosses. The problem is it zigzags across, so you gotta, at the right time, jump across it maybe. So you just gotta bear that in mind. Look at this parking. If there's one thing I've learned today about green lanes, it's how to park the bikes better. Just leave it in first gear. Look at it on side stand and everything. But guys, there is a chance that you might drop your bike if you do it like this, to be fair, but I'm not too bothered about that. And so far, handling of this bike today, coming down here, which I would say is quite challenging. I would say it's a challenging route due to the steepness. I say the bike's handling really well. I mean, like, I've not had a single moment where it's like slipped away or anything like that. The tyres have coped with it perfectly. Like, there's not too much build up this time compared to some of them other places I was. And I would actually say that this is harder to do than the place where I was, I think, last time, when it was just like an absolute trench. But I was worried because this part here, when it's wet like this and it's been raining and moist, it actually becomes like a little stream. And I did a hike up here, I think last year, or this year maybe even. Did a hike up here, either this year or last year, and it was absolutely soaking. It was just a stream. This whole part here was a stream. So on my ride down here today, I did expect that there could possibly be a bit of a stream going down the road, but yeah, guys, long walk, short walk. If you walk across, follow the yellow arrows, you can get to that viewpoint which I just showed you. So enjoy it. And further along there's another viewpoint, and then if you keep going down the path all the way down and round, and to the bottom there's a manor house. And there's also toilets there if you need it. And usually there's a cafe. So in the summertime, it's not a bad place to take your dog for a walk if you're living in London, or it's not a bad place to come out here green laning, because you have everything you need. You have a challenge, you have the toilets if you need it, you got the cafe if you want to drink or something. And yeah, but unfortunately they're on my cons list today because I've come here on the last day of the year. None of that stuff's open. And I've just realised I'm about to probably lose all the daylight of the day within the next 20-30 minutes or so, because it's getting on. And I've got to do all the twisty lanes to get back to where I live as well, so I'm going to crack on now. But yeah, one con which I was thinking about as well is that if anything does happen to me on the bike today, down here, it's going to be a bit of a challenge to get rescued. So if I was to like crash and then snap a handlebar or something, a tip which I would give away to people who are doing it at sort of like awkward days and hours and times and things, go with someone else. I do quite a lot of it on my own because it's just like spur of a moment. Just hop on a bike and then go out and do a bit of riding. But I'd say go with someone else. You can always go with someone else if you just get some friends, socialise a bit, and then yeah, you'll find someone else with the same hobby. I'm sure of it. I do think though that there should be some groups online or something. I'm not aware of any, but I might see if I can join something or create something, just like a green lane group where you don't have to be like a master sort of dirt biker or anything like that, but you can just come along and have a little go and then be safer because you're in a group. But yeah, look at these mounds of mud and everything. I was actually climbing along one of these before, and somewhere, I can't remember how far away it was. It's somewhere around these parts. Oh, it was in the next wood across, and yeah, I was climbing across one of these, and there's actually one up there. Hang on a second, let me put my gloves down. Then I can do the zoom. I think that's one up there. There's a big hole there. That's either a big hole or a big rock, one or the other. But anyway, I did go up to this big hole as I was walking along the sort of like hillside, and a badger come out to attack me. So I must have disturbed it. Must have had pups in there or something, but it came out. It was a big one, and thought it was going to come and get me. So if you do any little sort of like hill walking, beware of big holes. It's not always rabbits. Anyway, let's move on, guys. See if I can get to the bottom. Anyway, here's where it starts getting a bit zigzaggy. This 1 to 3 foot crevice coming down the hill. So you have options when you get to this bit. You can either go round, but then there's a chance where it might just break across and then cut off your path, and it might be even deeper down there. Or you can try and look for a sort of shallower bit and just go across it. Which, yeah, you want to do that with caution. Another tip about going downhill: try not to coast. Put it into first gear. If you want to take it slow, I'm taking this one slow because there's other people on the route, and obviously I don't know what's coming around the corner, whether this ditch is going to get more in the way of the bike or what. But I put it into first gear because that way I'm using the engine braking instead of, say, slamming on a front brake or rear brake. I'm using them together, the engine brake and the rear, or sometimes I even dabble the front, because as long as you don't slam on the brakes, as long as you don't get like a full sort of like fist load, like if you do it like gently, like, and you don't hold it, if you just do it gently, you can moderate your speed. Obviously using the foot brake as well, you can moderate your speed a bit. And just yeah, you'll find your way of doing things. Especially after you get a bit of experience, you get used to it. But yeah, things to watch out for are these leaves. They can be slippy. You don't want to be braking on that. It's better to stick to the sort of like thin mud, because it looks like mud, but it's got sort of like stones in there. It's kind of gravelly. As you can see underneath here, it's gravelly as well. So there's actually a little bit of nice traction in there, which you can use coming downhill. And yeah, it's not bad. That's the rear view. So that ditch, you can see it's just prevalent on this trail. But yeah, bits to avoid is obviously the ditch, the mud there with the leaves on the top, and yeah, just use your head. Also, another thing, like things like big rocks, branches, huge twigs and things like that, just be careful when you go over them, because you can lose your balance quite quick, especially on something like that or like that. With these guys cutting down the trees, you never know if there's a log across the road around the next corner, so it's better to go slowly, just to be courteous of other people, and just to be safe as well. So I want to go home with the bike intact. So I've still not crashed this. I do take it down some horrible places to take it as well. So and still, I've not had an issue with it riding along right now. So off-road on this sort of terrain, yeah, it's a big thumbs up from me. I mean, it seems pretty decent. But yeah, let's carry on and see if there's anything else that crops up on the journey to the bottom. If you get to this section, you'll see the if you are going to come specifically to it, if you get to the second sort of gate on the way down, you'll see the field coming closer. You're near the bottom there. It can be steep down the way, so and there's people coming both directions, so it's always courteous to let them come past. So the dogs get scared as well. So, but yeah, once you get to the bottom, there's a farmer's gate, sort of similar to one of these. You just go through there, and then you got some options. You can either go through the village on the way out, or you can go to the house around, which is down the road through the fields. So yeah, there's dogs running everywhere, so it's better to let them do their thing, making pals with each other. I don't want to run one over, so it's better to just wait. But yeah. See, the only obstacle now is the woman down there with her dog. And I already passed her once, so she might not be very happy if I have to do it again, but I am legally allowed to be here, so it's a bit tough, isn't it? But yeah, the best thing to do is just slow down and maintain control, and then just cruise on past. I don't know where this dog's come from. Where's your owner? Oh, there she is. I thought the dog was on its own. Anyway, let's carry on. And this is where the ditch is. They can get up to 3 foot. That is deep, right there, all the way along. And I think it's deep all the way around to the bottom. Got some more people coming up the hill, so I decided to stop. But yeah, it's just something to remember whilst you're out these ways, just to be courteous. But yeah, these ditches are the things you really need to be careful of, because you don't want to be coming too fast round, because you've got nowhere. If you look, you can either go slide into the mud or you can go into the ditch. But so it's better to just let people pass and then carry on, because you ain't got nowhere to go yourself. So look at the dog, he's got the stick. But yeah, it gets quite steep from this point just to the end. You alright, mate? Just doing another crazy parking spot. Obviously I've just come from up there because I want to show you guys another view. If you go up these steps, which is quite steep, this is another viewpoint, so you can just have a nice view. If you want to get away from London and stretch your eyes and look into the horizon and really, you know, kind of enjoy some views, and this is a good spot to come. It's nice and quiet, apart from the motorway down there. Actually, I recently drove along that motorway in a nice big van, and I recognise this area because I come here all the time. I recognised it from the motorway. So I came from far away. I just happened to be coming along that road. But yeah, I just recognised it as I was going along, because I've been here so many times. But yeah, it's a fantastic day for it. But yeah, if you were really confused about how steep this is, I mean, this is a good idea. I mean, like, look at, alright, so let's say that's flat. It's down a ditch. Oh, someone's shouting. Didn't even see them. But yeah, you literally have to go downstairs to get back to the road here. But yeah, let's stop faffing and get to the end now, because bit of depth perspective for you, whatever. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna go to the end. Let's carry on, let's finish this. Once you get to this farm, which is at the bottom of the hill, you can congratulate yourself, because apart from this section here, you've just done Titsy Hill. So this isn't the hardest hill I've done. There was one which is the ground, it's like made out of chalk or something. I can vaguely remember where it is in the Surrey Hills, but yeah, the ground is like made out of chalk. I will try and get back there for summertime and hopefully have an action camera with me as well. But yeah, the ground's made of chalk, and it's just bizarre, like riding down it, and it's super steep. There is one bit where it's just like vert, and yeah. But this is a good place to go for practice. This is the last day of 2019, last day of the decade. And I'm glad I came out and I spent it here, and I've defeated Titsy Hill. I used the last day with pride and courage. But yeah, just gotta watch out for this little channel again, and then just go down the middle bit there, and then I'm out. Well, just gotta go through the gate. And then there's a couple fields you can ride through, and then that's about it. I might see if I can do some a bit more footage of riding, but yeah, we'll see. Yeah, you'll know when you're at the bottom of Titsy Hill, because you can smell the cows. You can smell the cows' manure smell. It's just beyond there. Usually the farmer keeps the cows in there. So, but yeah, you get here, then well done. I mean, the first time I came down here, I was quite nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't crash then either, and I didn't crash today. And I've got to say, this bike handles better than the adrenaline coming down here. because I remember that was all twitchy all over the place, whereas this, it just felt solid the whole way down. I didn't have one problem. On the way here, I was dreading it, thinking, oh, just remembering the last time with the adrenaline, thinking like, oh, it's going to slip out, or it's going to be a bit difficult, or whatever. I was actually dreading it, but when I've come here, I've not had one moment where I've been like, oh god. And I did actually have to ride through the channel, the little broken sort of like, what's that, beige bit? I don't know. But yeah, I had to ride down like the water channel, let's just call it that. I had to go through there about 3 or 4 times. Otherwise I get absolutely stuck. So yeah, I did actually ride through it. And yeah, it took it fine. I thought the suspension would feel worse, but it didn't. It felt like it was alright. So yeah, surprising, but yeah, it's still quite an achievement for this bike, and a nice achievement for me to end the year on, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to see if I can come to show you guys these fields now down at the bottom. Hopefully the gates are open and everything, and yeah, and then that's it for the day, and then it's well done until next time probably. But yeah, let's go check out these fields. And another thing, guys, if you go out riding, make sure you always close the farmer's gate after you're done with it, if you can. There we go. Yeah, that signifies the end of it. So yeah, this is just the farm, but I'm going to show you the fields now. Well guys, sadly this is going to be the end of the journey. The gate's closed, it's locked, you need the code to get through. It's like electric. Sometimes in the summer it's just left wide open, but you don't want to get squeezing around there with the bike, because I'm going to get electrocuted. So this fence here is an electric fence, so you don't want to touch that, especially in the rain and when it's wet. But yeah, this is the open fields. In the summertime, when it is like the hottest days of the year, and then there was the cattle that was out here, it looked like the Wild West. It really does. When you're walking along there, when I've walked along here lots of times, but there's one time I'll always remember, which is with all the cattle out. Just reminded me of like a film with the Native Americans and sort of like cowboy style stuff. And way up there in the distance, that's the manor house that I was talking about earlier, where you can also find yourself a toilet if you need it, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, that's basically Titsy Hill. And if you're on foot, you can walk along here, and then there's another route which goes beyond the houses and then back up the hill. It links you back round with the beginning. So I started at the top, which is by a road called, I believe it's called the Ridge. Yeah, I think it's the Ridge. But yeah, anyway, that's the starting point if you want to go from top to bottom. Other than that, that's it. And that's me out for the day. But yeah, guys, I appreciate you watching, and appreciate the comments I've had recently and stuff like that. Oh. But yeah, it makes it worthwhile to know that even just 1 or 2 people or 5 or 10 or whatever people will start enjoying watching it. So yeah, it's much appreciated, and I will carry on and hopefully get some better videos than this going. This is, at the moment, I've got problems with my sort of like camera issues, because I'm just doing it on my phone, whereas I would like to have a GoPro or something along those lines, and just so I could really show you guys the problems as I'm riding, as I'm coming up to them, like that, like going through the sort of like dip, you could say. I'd like to show you guys those bits. Hello. Yeah, I'd like to show you guys those parts of the journey, but yeah, for now I have to just make do, and it is extremely hard to set up a mobile phone to record as you're riding along, but I think I've got one or two bits, so it's the best I can do for now. But in the future there will be some better footage, hopefully. But until then, thank you guys for watching, and I will be doing some more rides in the summertime, so if there's any people that's local to London that want to come along, I've got absolutely hundreds of green lanes I would like to go and see and do. So just send me a message and we'll see what we can do. But yeah, until then, I hope everyone has a nice happy new year, and yeah, make 2020 decent when it comes. I'm not sure if there's going to be I don't know, I'm not sure if there's going to be much for me to look forward to other than doing a bit of green lane and driving, road trips and things like that, but I am going to look forward to it. You got to think positive in these days and ages. But one thing which I am feeling negative about is Titsy Hill itself, because like I said earlier, right at the beginning, they chopped a lot of trees down at the top, and I understand the ones which are leaning, like the ones that are actually going to fall, but there's a lot which weren't, and they've just decided to chop it down. I mean, like these days you got people online on TV all the time complaining about CO2 emissions and all this kind of business. I'm not one of them, by the way. I'm not too bothered about it that much. I know you probably should be, but I'm not too bothered about it that much. But the thing is, should we be cutting trees down here to make logs out of for people's fires? I mean, that just sounds like we're just making the problem worse, doesn't it? Whilst destroying how beautiful this scenery around here actually is. Like I said, it's one of my favourite places to go, so maybe I'm a bit biased. But yeah, guys, if you live near London, come and check this out. It really doesn't take long to ride around and walk around, so. But you do need to be quite a strong walker if you are going to walk up the hill, so just bear that in mind. Till then, I'll see you guys later. Thank you. Guys, just one more thing. All this stuff, all this mud, all these pools of water, don't let it discourage you from going out and enjoying the day. I mean, look at the mud I have on here. I've not even cleaned it yet. It doesn't look too bad. I mean, there's a bit of grime on there. That'll come off easy with the jet wash. I'm not too bothered what happens with the exhaust pipe. I'm going to change it anyway. Just bits of grime everywhere, but nothing that can't be fixed with a few minutes with the jet wash. As long as you don't go crazy spraying in the electrics like a crazy man, then you'll be alright. Just try and spray all the main bits and then hand clean the more delicate parts, and you'll be alright. But yeah, don't let the mud discourage you. I mean, this ain't that bad. And I've just done Titsy Hill. I mean, I can't even believe I've just done Titsy Hill and it comes out like that. I can't believe I've done Titsy Hill anyway, to be fair. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys all have a good, happy new year, new decade. And I hope you have a lot of riding to look forward to as well. And I hope that you enjoy my video. So thank you very much. This is my last video, 2019. And I finished 2019 completing a green lane. And not an easy one either. So, well, I class it as a 3 out of 5 on difficulty. So, it's moderate, in my opinion. This is just like a downhill sort of exercise, really. Bit of speed control. You master that, then it's another skill you've learned, isn't it? How to go downhill with the motorbike on the dirt. So, it's a good skill to learn, in my opinion. Alright guys, that's it. That really is it. Happy New Year. And